second sermon that we will discuss for this series on faith and feelings is on religious emotions. This beautiful sermon by John Henry Newman. He begins by contrasting two characters, that of Peter and Jesus. So towards the moment of the Passion of Christ, Peter, he approaches Jesus and he says, "Lord, even if I have to die, I will never betray you. I will lay down my life for you." And Jesus asks Peter, "Will you lay down your life for me?" And so then he announces that Peter is the one who will betray him 3 times before the cock crows. So we know the end of the story. Peter, who is promising with this great, excited feelings that he will lay down his life for Christ, he's unable to follow through, and he will deny Jesus 3 times. And Jesus, who is at that moment calm and listening to Peter, he is able to, in that same calmness, give his life for Peter and for everybody, for the rest of the world. And so in that contrast, we can see an important aspect of religious emotions, how emotions affect our own faith and how we ought to use them. So then Newman goes on to discuss the relationship between feelings and our own prayer life or piety. So he asks himself an important question. He says, what is the state of perfection for a disciple's soul? And he answers, a deliberate inclination to serve God in everything, a determined determination to leave everything for Him, a love for Him neither tumultuous nor enthusiastic, but that love that a child has for his parents, calm, absolute, reverent, contemplative, and obedient. So we need the use of these feelings in order to be able to respond to God, to give our lives to Him. But Newman says the perfection of the soul is the one who is able to lay down his life for God in a moderate way. And he will go on to use 3 words that are very important and that we'll describe from this sermon. The first one is that our commitment to God should be serene, moderate, and conscious. Serene, moderate, and conscious. So the first one is that our commitment to the Lord should be serene, without too much excitement. We can think in that, and at this point, of the Pharisees, for example, when Jesus he speaks about their hypocrisy, and he says that they do all these things to be seen by others. Of course, nowadays in this world of the new evangelization, we don't see much hypocrisy. You either live out your faith or you don't, but there's no retribution from the world to just pretend that you have faith. And so in that sense, it is much more authentic in these times of the new evangelization. But when Jesus speaks about practicing our faith in secret, what he would mean today for our world of the new evangelization is beyond those moments when it's easy to live out your faith. So beyond the events or the numbers or the singing, or when it's easy to obey God and we are moved to commit to Him. So when we go back home, when we go on vacation, when we are just by ourselves with our families, or when a soul decides every morning to wake up and go on their knees and offer themselves to God. And so when we're not being seen by others in that sense, when it's not easy or convenient, or we're not taken by the community and the power that the community brings to our obedience of faith. And so that's what Newman would mean by serene in the first place. So it's something that it's able to be done in secret, a commitment to God that is serene, that is almost taken with simplicity, and something that is integrated in my own life in very invisible ways. The second one is moderate. So it's done with moderation. Of course, what Newman means is not that there's a rationing of our commitment to the Lord, but it's moderate in the way that we do it. You know how you see, for example, like a great NFL player or a great basketball player or a great soccer player. You see Messi play, and it seems that everything is so natural when they do it. They do amazing things in very simple ways, in very natural ways. And so that is what we pretend for our own faith, to be able to do what we have to do in obedience to God, but in a very moderate way, in a very natural way. And in the third place, Newman says it is conscious. So it is intentional, voluntary, governed by our well-informed reason. So it's a decision that we make and not a decision that is made by others for us. And so it's daily. When we decide to be faithful to God in very simple ways, when nobody's seeing us, but we make that decision that even though I don't want to go and pray in this moment, I make myself go to my slot for adoration, and I am faithful to that. Or when I have to study and I don't want to, I want to be distracted with other things, but I decide, okay, I'm going to study in this moment. That's when we make it more voluntary. We use our reason and we decide to commit to God. Newman, of course, and we have to say this continually in these videos because we are making so many distinctions, he's not opposed to feelings in faith. On the contrary, he's very much in favor of them. There's a moment in this sermon where he says, no one can be religious without carrying religion in the heart. Their affections must be immersed in God, and the purpose of all Christian catechesis is to promote this. But if this is so, there's a great danger that the affections will be misused. So that is what he continually is speaking about, the misuse of emotions in faith. But he's all in favor. He says, religion should be of the heart. Our faith should move us from within. If not, there's going to be something lacking, something missing in our life. So as we go on to discuss this sermon, I would suggest that maybe we can discuss those three words and how our faith ought to be more incorporated more as a serene, moderate, and conscious act in our relationship with God, so that we may give ourselves a greater chance of perseverance. So I hope that you have great discussions with this video and that you enjoy very much this sermon of Newman on religious emotions that is part of this series on faith and feelings.